Okay, Max. Jeff here. Yes, I'm on the train, and I got 3 seats. This is great. This is like I don't get this very often here. Um, so I had a question about or you had a statement about learning languages and what kind of hobbies you do that learn languages and stuff. Actually, my microphone's closer here. Um, so I want to give an example of how I did it, actually learning in German as well. So several years ago, I had enough. I went to go take some, German from out of the town hall in Paris. It's really cheap. You just go in for evening classes. It's really, really cheap, and they just come through for together all the people, all adults basically. And so I came and had to take the. I signed up, but I didn't know what I needed level. So they get there and they just say all the people that have had never had German before. This is for all different languages, but all that have never had done any German before. You know nothing about it. You go over here, that teacher. Well, I've made a few trips to Germany. I'm a linguist. I'm a linguist. I'm not just a person that's translation. I'm a linguist. I analyze languages, and I'm a phonetician, a phonologist. So, I can imitate languages. And I was trained to actually go and deconstruct languages and reconstruct them again, and then write orthographies for them, in traditional oral context. So I was trained to do this, so you could actually, go in a place where there's no writing and create the writing system from scratch. Okay, so and I've been to Germany enough times to get by, get train tickets, and food and toilets and that kind of stuff. So I said, no, I'll just wait and go to the next group, right? And so all the rest of you go over here and you got to take a test. Well, I'll tell you, that was a very painful test. There were 50 questions. And I'd never studied German. I never studied the declensions. I never studied any of that stuff, okay? Never. That was a very painful test. But I knew what they were doing because I was a language professor for 8 years, so I knew exactly what they were doing. I just didn't have the vocabulary and the declension, I didn't have the case system built. I didn't know what it was. So they have the written thing, and I'm just like, phew, gee, okay, I know I'm out of that one. They'll throw me back in the first group. All right, they're going to throw me back in the first group immediately. But then we get to the oral exam. We have this oral exam, and with the teacher. And the teacher comes up and he starts asking me questions. I know exactly what she's asking me, but I don't know what she's saying. Because I used to do the same thing when I had students. It's the same kind of, what's your name, where you're from, what's your background, where you're born. I knew exactly what she was saying, but I didn't know what she was saying because I didn't have the vocabulary. I knew the intention. So I finally said to her, look, I don't understand anything you're saying, but let me show you what I know. Okay? So I start speaking, a bunch of German sentences. I don't remember what they were. I was just, I can't remember what I said. I don't remember. I gotta get this microphone. Oh, sorry. I gotta get the microphone to get it into my thing here, so it's not gonna cause problems here. So I just, said a bunch of sentences in German. Yeah, pretty good pronunciation, whatever it was. I don't remember I said. And she looks at me and she says, we're going to put you in the second German class and you're going to work your rear end off to catch up. That's what she basically said. Okay? We're going to work to catch up. Okay. That's what she said, but you're going to be able to make it. You'll be able to do it. So they put me in the second semester class. Now, I actually did go attend one of the first semester class, and it was really too basic for me. It was really, really too basic because I knew how to do this stuff. I already knew. It would have helped to actually learn all the declensions and stuff, and actually not declensions, actually all the whole masculine, feminine, and the whole gender system. I need that too, and the cases. I need all that, but I just need to practice a lot. Okay. But they put me in the second semester. Says, no, you're going to go in the second semester. So what I did is I went down and bought, this is in 2013, so I went down to the bookstores where there were, language learning methods, and they had, it's DVDs now, right, or CDs and DVDs. That's what they're making it. But they had all these old cassettes, the old audio cassettes. I bought them all at 50% off, all of them. I bought everything that was German. I bought every method you can imagine, like 5 or 6 methods. And in my 4 hours of train commuting per day like this, I would listen to the German cassettes and all of these different learning methods, okay? All of them. Collins and Berlitz and just all of them. And I would sit there and just listening for these hour to at least 1 hour train rides each direction all the time. And wherever we went for like this whole semester. So I'm catching up really quickly, okay? And they're all kind of doing it their own way, right? But they're all saying do the same thing. They're also like readings and stuff. So immediately I started doing that, okay, to catch up with the vocabulary, like house and dog and cat and, all those kinds of things, and garage and, stairway and all those things, apartment and street and all that stuff, all these basically words. And so, but this comes into how the hobby comes into place. And when I taught languages, I always told people to do things that they like. I've always said that, to focus on things they like. So you know what I did? I'm a guitar player, and I do a lot of guitar evaluations, and I played a lot of concerts. So what I did was every single time we had to talk about something about the house. You got to be in the house. They go, I got a house with something. And what did I say? I've got a house with a wife, 2 sons, and 30 guitars. And I play the 30 guitars, and I take my guitars down to the car and put my guitars in the car. And I go to school, and I play guitar at work. I literally said everything was about guitars, okay? And I knew I got to learn the gender of guitars and all musical instruments really well. Okay? And I got to learn the other things around it because of the house and and the garage and the room. My guitars in the room. I would say I've got 25 guitars. I've got 12 guitars in this room. I got 10 guitars in this room. I got 3 guitars in this room. I got 5 guitars in that room. I would say this, and I did have. I was just inventing. It was so funny. And every single was twice a week for 2 hours in the evenings. And after a while, everybody knew that I was going to be talking about guitars and music. It was so funny. So that's just kind of in the homework stuff and the things and the learning the things. But then we had to do these oral the oral kind of exposés and stuff. So we all have to do this expose of talking about stuff. And I'm the first one to raise my hand. I'm the worst person in class, but I'm the first one to raise my hand because I want to talk about. And when I do, I choose my favorite guitar player, and I explain who my favorite guitar player is, and what he plays and stuff, and they were all laughing, but they're learning about it. They're learning about something about the music, and I'm just having fun. I'm just having total fun talking about this stuff. It was just great for me. I learned it really well. At least that domain. It's all domain learning. It's all we talk about, this domain learning, and that's exactly what I did. I just did it for 6 months, and then guess what? We have the written exam at the end of the semester, and guess what I wrote about? Guitars. My thing to this semester, my teacher knew more about guitars than anything else, okay? But I did pass that second semester. When I started, the beginning of the semester, I had like 3 points out of 50 on that exam, 3 out of 50. I aced the thing at the end. I totally knew everything. I could pass the exam perfectly. And not only pass the exam, but I wrote full paragraphs about guitars. And I got a certificate for A2. I got my certificate for A2 level. So that's what I tell people now when they want to learn things is find out one of your hobbies. It could be cooking, it can be music, it can be whatever, it can be drawing, it can be, whatever you want. Just focus on that and do your learning around that. And then you'll do it. And I actually did a video here. I did a video on my YouTube channel a couple months ago. It's called the TPR, total physical response, TPR. So I actually did a video and I explained how I did this actually 30 years ago, teaching adults how to learn language, and I explained it to them. And they were tactile learners. They needed to have something physical and things. But I explained more on that one. The thing, but here is what I actually did myself to learn it, and I learned it really fast because it was something I liked, and I only focused on things I liked, and I didn't worry about the pollution, the stuff, the extra stuff. I didn't worry about all that stuff. I didn't care about it. If I missed a point on something else, it didn't matter. All that mattered was that I actually learned about the things I liked, and in the end, it doesn't matter if I miss a few points. it made no difference. But the fact I was able to express myself and talking about things, and every year I go and visit colleagues in Germany and stuff, and I can say a bunch of sentences and stuff, and they're just like, "Wow, we should be speaking to you in German all the time." So yeah, that was a great experience. That's what I tell people to do. And I did, and I told a colleague how to do this last week about the struggling, how to be kind of get up and do a presentation and stuff, and I just said, "Let's do that." And we came up with cooking, and she thought, yeah. So I'm trying to get her to do little videos on cooking, or she plays the bass guitar, and just talk about that stuff, so she can get familiar, she can get used to speaking in front of a camera or making a presentation, so they can check to do it. And yeah, this is the way to do it. Talk about things you really like, and then you'll do well with it. And then you can transfer the skills over to other topics that you don't like as much. So that's my fun experience with learning German with guitar. And okay, there we go.